Mariner Books and HarperAudio present Golden State, The Making of California by Michael Hiltzik. Read by Bob Sauer. A note before we begin. Don't forget to download the accompanying enhancement PDF from your audiobook provider. It contains a map and bibliography. For Deborah, Andrew, and David. Nowhere else were we Americans more affected than here, in our lives and conduct, by the feeling that we stood in the position of conquerors in a new land. Josiah Royce, California. Prologue. California, Land of Contradictions. Like millions of immigrants before me, I came to California enthralled with the possibility of making a new life. Not that I was discontented with the old one exactly, only suffused with a feeling of stagnation. I had been born, raised, and educated in New York State, and started my career there and continued it in New England, so my horizon seemed rather constrained. California beckoned via a job offer from the Los Angeles Times. It was 1981. I was single, in my late 20s. Visions of California's promise swirled in my head. Freethinkers, liberal politics, cultural and ethnic diversity, sun, surf, an entirely novel landscape to engage mind and body. California values seem to have pervaded our nation's politics, our economics, our culture, every corner of our way of life. The Sierra Club had been born here. At Berkeley, the free speech movement launched the era of college protest. New frontiers in science and technology were being explored by young engineers on a Bay Area hillside. One of them, the brilliant computer scientist Alan Kay, had set forth a credo for those seeking a glimpse of things to come. The best way to predict the future, he said, is to invent it. What better vantage point from which to witness the building of a new world? I found an apartment in a hip section of Long Beach near the water and turned in my aging, corroded car for a new coupe. The salesman, helping me transfer my belongings from my Ford Galaxy, discovered a bent and battered snow shovel in the trunk and showed it around the lot like a Paleolithic relic. In an experience that millions before me had had, however, my concept of California as a paradise on earth did not survive its first encounter with reality. In late August, during my first weekend in town, I walked what my map showed to be 3 blocks to the water with a lawn chair and beach towel, only to discover that what looks on paper like an easy stroll can turn into a miles-long slog on foot. I expected to be dipping my toes into the clear waters of the Pacific, but the beach fronted on a murky bay fed by the Los Angeles River, a once bucolic stream now imprisoned in a concrete channel and carrying the fetid runoff of thousands of square miles of paved-over terrain. The rainbow sheen of petroleum on the water's surface signaled that the vast ports of Long Beach and Los Angeles stood just beyond the breakwater. The mysterious islets just offshore, bearing party-colored towers surrounded by palms, could be mistaken from a distance for amusement parks. In fact, they were oil platforms, their gaudy facades concealing derricks and pumps operating 24 hours a day. I had been misled into thinking of California as a place of unalloyed cosmopolitanism. Instead, I landed in a community built by Midwestern transplants that had acquired the nickname Iowa by the Sea. Neighboring Orange County, where I was assigned as a business reporter, was a hotbed of far-right politics nestled within California's coastal strip of blue. A few weeks after my arrival, a press release from John G. Schmitz, a former Orange County congressman now holding a state Senate seat, crossed my desk. Schmitz had been drummed out of the John Birch Society for being too conservative. State Senator John G. Schmitz survives the attack of the Bull Dykes, the document read, recounting how, at a series of public hearings around the state for an anti-abortion bill he was sponsoring, he had been confronted by a sea of hard Jewish and arguably female faces. A few months later, Schmitz
Sample complete. Ready to continue?